All right, we're talking 17-6A with Stratford head coach Todd Rankin, a good friend of the show. And coach, you talk about the district last year. First of all, you started that year off with the barn burner game with Tomball. I really, it was back and forth, but those are the kinds of games you need in the non-district to get you ready for district play. And when saw district play, a couple of side teams were kind of running things in there. But talk about how you felt last year went for you, and what maybe you can build off of last year.
Yeah, it was absolutely a great start with non-district. Lost a tough one to Coach Handel and those guys at Tomball, but they're always well coached, do a heck of a job. We're able to get on top of Oak Ridge early on and get our feet in the ground there, and then very very fortunate to beat a very tough Kingwood team in overtime headed into district. So yeah, I think that was good for our team and to kind of find out who we were and how good we were last year, and then get into district and lost a tough one, of course, to Cy Fair and to Cy Falls, but other than that, I think we were able to kind of play some really good ball through district and then win a playoff game. So it was a great year and had a good group. Senior led group but we're excited what those guys have done for our program and the legacy they've left, and hopefully these young guys that just came through spring ball can kind of live up to the standards we've been able to set last few years.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about what you learned during spring ball, because you do have some holes to fill. Obviously, De Leon has moved on. Your running back has moved on, but you have a solid offensive. You have parts on that offensive line coming back. So whoever you have in quarterback should keep his jersey a little bit clean, I would think. Talk about what you have coming back offensively.
Yeah, we're real excited. I think it's one of the better offensive lines that we've been able to put together since we've been here. Four out of the five, guys are back, and so real senior heavy offensive line. So we're excited about those guys. As long as we can keep them healthy, that will be one of the strongest areas of our team. I think we found he was our backup last year, but Davis Kendall at running back has stepped in. A kid that's committed to Air Force. But he was able to step in last year when Javi Denson, who actually is also going to Air Force, kind of getting a little pipeline there, but Javi was our running back last year, did a tremendous job. But Davis Kendall stepped in for him, did a good job last year, and he was able to kind of really pick up as the starter this year. Davis was, and able to show that he can run and catch the ball out of the backfield as well, and good pass blocker. So we're excited about that front group and our run game, what we can do there. I think with our receiving core was really, really strong, or showed that they're going to be a really solid group, if you will, this spring. It'll be a lot of different guys. We don't have just that one necessary go-to guy or whatever. I think, but the group overall, they blocked well. They caught the ball well, and kind of still find out through this summer and through fall camp who those biggest playmakers will be. May kind of solidify who gets more time than others. But we're excited about that group. Quarterback was our biggest question mark. We had one kid that was in baseball, did not get to come out. Our baseball team was in the playoffs, of course, and things like that. But we had a JV kid that came in, did a great job all spring. Gavin Guzman had a tremendous JV career for us, and then kind of came in and can kind of run and throw a little bit, but did a really, really good job this spring. But we'll, of course, see, when we get our baseball kid, Will McCarroll, we get him back into it, what he can do. We'll kind of decide that, hopefully before Tomball as we get into it this fall, who will be our main guy at quarterback and all that. And we were able to find a couple good young guys as well, some freshmen that had, they had good freshman years, but also we got two good young freshman guys behind them, I think, as well. So we're excited about what our future is offensively. Obviously Aaron De Leon and Javi Denson are going to be hard to replace, but we're excited about some of these young guys coming in.
I was gonna say that happens a lot though in your business.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times you say, well, these guys are going to be hard to replace, but unfortunately, that's the way life is. You can't stay in high school forever.
That's
Although
right.
the way my kids are doing in school, I think they think they're going to stay forever. No, just kidding. They're doing fine. Talk
Yeah.
about defensively during spring ball. Where were you kind of looking to see, for somebody to step up? I know you have Jonathan Joseph back there in the defensive backfield, but where else are you kind of looking for guys to step up?
Yeah, Jonathan, of course, and he did have a great spring as well, and we'll use him on offense a little bit. We did that a little bit last year with threw him a couple balls just for the fun of it, really. But we'll use him as a weapon on offense too at times when we need to. Kickoff returns and punt returns. He was able to score in both those areas as well last year. So he's a threat in a lot of ways. He's in a kid that could get recruited some on offense as well as defense. So we'll try to use him some. But yeah, some of the other guys, defensive line. Let me start with there. That was kind of our, we had some question marks there, but one of our brightest spots coming in. We've got a inside guy, Ty Green, has great size on the inside of that defensive line. A kid starting to get recruited a little bit, and he came through, had a great spring. Really, really big kid at defensive tackle, and then at defensive end, Beck Harger, Callan Kirk. We've got quite a few guys that can kind of rotate at that defensive end spot. All of them we're really, really excited about. And we think so with depth and just with the, guys with high motors, guys with size, we've got a good mix of a lot of kids that we can kind of use there at that spot for defense line. So we're really, really excited about that. At linebacker, again, having to replace some guys. One guy that played, it was kind of played a little bit of everything for us, especially with the defensive line. I played inside and out, but Jax Blundell is a kid that's going to play inside backer for us and kind of be that guy that makes the calls and does a lot of those things. He's he really has kind of had a great offseason and tuned up and playing with some speed and we're excited about what he can do on the inside there of him and give a last name award. We're excited about the inside backer position on what guys are given for us there. In the secondary, kind of a little bit like defensive line, we're going to play with a lot of different guys. Luke Temez, another safety with Eric Mashad, a couple guys to get in there that we really feel like can, Parker Johnson, who we had graduate, led the state in interceptions, but there's, we got some really good, strong candidates there at safety to kind of come through and kind of pick up where Parker left off. So excited about that. Of course, Jonathan Joseph will hold down one of the corners. Rayon Harris and kind of a crew, about 2 or 3 other guys are really in competition there at the corner, at the other corner spot. So we're, a little bit more, we're still undecided at some of those areas and we'll see throughout the summertime and throughout fall camp, kind of who solidifies a couple of those roles. But no, there's some guys in there on the defense side as well, especially with defensive line that we're real excited about.
I appreciate you joining me, and we'll talk to you down the line as you fight for that playoff spot.
Absolutely, we appreciate it. Anything you guys need, y'all just let us know.